Hello everyone, kindred spirits, fellow educators, and our dear friends from the Home for Humanity team, Dr. Rama and Professor Alexander, and along with you, all our other friends who have been accompanying you on this incredible journey so far. Kuzu Zangpula and warm greetings from Bhutan. I'm Diki Chodan, and I've been a teacher for nearly 40 years now. I'm currently the principal of ELC High School, a small private school facility that caters for less than 200 students and a faculty and staff of about 30 members. On this, the International Day of Education, I feel deeply honored and humbled to be given the opportunity to share our story and to try to answer the all-important question that we should be asking as schools and educators on such an important day. What if every school would become a home for humanity and for all life on earth? I believe this is not just a question to be pondered upon, but truly an aspiration that every school should be working towards realizing as our collective vision for humanity. And I know it's possible because my team and I just returned from an amazing visit to a really remote school in Arunachal Pradesh in India called Jamse Gatsal Children's Community. The school's name stands for a garden of love and compassion and is home to some 110 resident children hailing from the most underprivileged families and circumstances, but who are so loved and so cared for by their teachers and caregivers who also live at the school as a community. My team and I felt such a deep sense of connection with each of them, seeing how they lived, how they learned and cared for each other, for their environment and nature, and how they treated us with such kindness that we came away inspired that schools can become a home for humanity and for all life on earth. At ELC here in Bhutan, we have been inspired by a noble vision called Gross National Happiness, a philosophy of development with values that was gifted to the people of Bhutan by our visionary kings. In 2010, Educating for Gross National Happiness became a nationwide vision for every school in Bhutan. For ELC, that vision was the game changer for us as we began to see a greater meaning and purpose of education that went beyond mere academic success. In the last 15 years since we began our journey of happiness as our goal and greater purpose, ELC has been able to achieve quite a few milestones that could well align with the possibility of schools becoming homes for humanity. These achievements that I'm talking about don't necessarily have anything to do with school rankings or achieving awards and medals for being the best in academics or sports or debates and the like that we're all too familiar with. And of course, I'm not saying that these are not important, they are. But when our children are treasured and not just measured, when they can learn to take a mindful breath before they say the mean thing or call someone a hurtful name because they've been hurt, when children can care for each other and themselves, when they're able to carve out times to check in on their inner weather, that is to say, how are they feeling? And can they too, perhaps, be a gentle listening ear to their friends and peers when they're going through something? I believe we are planting seeds of love and compassion that could be the beginning of a generation of heart-centered beings who have learned to make a paradigm shift in their mindset from me to we, from transaction to trust, from isolation to community, and from consumption to contribution. It is when our children have learned that the purpose and meaning of education and life itself need not only be about individual or personal success, achievement, name or fame, but it's about making a difference in someone's life because they have lived. In the interest of being mindful of the time allocated to me, let me conclude by saying that in these 15 years, we found ourselves going above and beyond the prescribed mandates of our education system to bring Design for Change, a global school movement that empowers children to be the change, to over 300 schools in Bhutan. We've established partnerships with nearly 20 rural community schools to share our best practices and finding ways to support their educational and material needs where possible. We have prioritized well-being as a non-negotiable part of our school curriculum. And we have replaced punitive approach to discipline and conflict resolution with repairing of harm and restoring relationships through our restorative justice practices. We conduct a carnival each year to help support many local civil society organizations in their effort towards nation building through community service as part of our citizenship education and many, many more. I will also share some links to videos that will capture the essence of ELC's journey that has truly helped us find joy and meaning in our own lives, even as we try to educate and educare for universal happiness and well-being. In closing, I'd like to wish a happy International Day of Education to one and all. As knowledge transfer becomes more and more AI-driven, I am convinced that schools can and will become homes for humanity. There is no other way. Thank you and Tashi Delegla.